Okay. We're going to say, hello there. What is your name? So this, as we know, will simply print a string. But what if we actually want the user to type in their name, right? So some interactivity between the user and the program. So to do that, we say gets.chomp, which is like, what? What? That's random. That's not what you were expecting. And we'll explain why it is that way in a second. But so I'm going to run this. It says, hello there, what is your name? And I will type in my name. And that's the end of the program. So again, just because you could give it to your friends and family to use doesn't mean that they'll want to use it. Now, when you actually type in gets.chomp, you can actually take that result of what they type in and make a variable that is a nickname for whatever they type in. So I'm going to make a variable called name and set it to be gets.chomp. So I'm going to run this again. You're not going to really see a difference yet. What is your name? J. Now in this version, the string J, because whatever you type in is a string, the string J actually now has the name variable as a nickname for it. So what that means is that in the next line, I could say this. Your name is, and then use interpolation, name that way. So let's run this again. Hello there, what is your name? I'll say J, and then the program says your name is J. What a lovely name. So it actually used what the user typed in back in the program. So again, on line 2, as soon as you say gets.chomp, remember how whenever you set a variable, whatever happens to the right of the equal sign happens first? Ruby processes that first. That comes into action over here. When you say name equals gets.chomp, first Ruby processes the gets.chomp, meaning it actually gives the user the opportunity to type in something. And only then does it take that result, that resulting string, and assign that to the variable name on the left-hand side of the equal sign. Once you have that variable, in this case called name, you can use that for the duration of your program. So we use it, again, in line 3. We interpolate it into the string on line 3. So so as soon as your code says gets.chomp, as soon as Ruby processes that, it immediately gives the user the opportunity to type in something. So, I mean, if I just said gets.chomp alone, it would stop, the program stops for a moment, and allows me to type in something. What I'm doing on line 2 is I'm grabbing the thing they typed in and sort of referencing that information using a variable. In this case, I called it name because I'm expecting them to type in a name. So that would be sort of just a descriptive variable name. So here I'm going to just copy and paste this all in. Let's predict, what will happen when we run this program? It's not that complicated. So what's step by step, what's going to happen? So we run the program, then what?
It's going to get your first name.
So it's going to ask the user for the first name.
Then it's going to ask your middle name.
Yeah.
Then it's going to ask your last name.
Yeah. And then?
Prints out your first, middle, and last.
Yeah. Awesome. So let's run this. Okay. Who wants to volunteer their first name? Who wants to someone else volunteer their middle name? Yeah? Who wants to volunteer a middle name?
Thomas.
Thomas? Who wants to volunteer a last name? I'll do mine. So your full name is Cassie Thomas Wengrow. I would love to meet Cassie Thomas Wengrow. Does this make sense? Here, we asked the user for 3 different inputs at 3 different times, and each time we stored it in a different variable. So we took their first thing they typed in, stored it in a variable called first name. We take the second thing they typed in, store it in a variable called middle name. And we take the third thing they typed in, store it in a variable called last name. We then use those three variables by interpolating them into that final string, so we present them with their full name. The common convention in Ruby is that if you do have a variable name that really consists of more than one word, the common convention is to put an underscore to make it more readable. I didn't have to, though.
And it obviously recognizes it.
Yeah, as long as you're consistent, yeah. But if I decided to leave out the underscore here, then I would have to leave it out there. But basically, underscore is a valid character for a variable name, and Ruby people tend to put that in to make a two-word variable more readable. I couldn't put in a space, because every variable name has to be one long structure.